Okay, here we are, the last set of notes for the year 2020. I am happy that we got through all of these formulas. I think they're important for you to at least have seen. So our last shape, we didn't even do this shape earlier when we did surface area. It's the sphere. So 11.4 is all about the sphere. We're talking the ball shape, where we're just going to go right into it. A sphere really only has one determining size factor. I guess I could have made this one solid. And that's its radius. Its radius determines how big it is. Okay, so we're going to have surface area and volume. Surface area, the amount of surface on the outside of any ball, is equal to 4 of these circles across the middle. So it's 4 pi r squared. And then volume, how much fits inside of the ball, is 4/3 pi r cubed. So surface area is going to have the radius squared, volume will have it cubed. And we're just going to go through a few examples and call it a year. So, number 1. Oh, add those to your little sheet. Total sphere, radius, surface area, 4 pi r squared, 4 circles. And volume, 4/3 pi r cubed. Okay. Here we go. We'll start simple. Let's go with a sphere that has a diameter equal to 24. Finding surface area and volume. Okay, doesn't get a whole lot easier than this. 4 pi, we need the radius, and you should know by now to cut that in half. And then volume, 4/3 pi 12 cubed. Okay, I'm going to leave my answers exact by not putting pi in my calculator. So 12 squared times 4, 576. Float the pi to the end. Here, 12, I hit 13, 12. Your cube, you've got to find a caret button on here. Some calculators actually have a cube with a 3. I don't have that, so I'm just going to use the caret. 3. So all in all, your calculator works, so you'll be able to find that. Otherwise, you got to go 12 times 12 times 12. You always have that as a default. And then times 4 divided by 3. 2,304 pi. Okay, number 2. Can you find the diameter of a sphere if the volume is 36,000 pi cubic centimeters? Okay, we always work backwards when they give us the answer. So formula first, and we've got volume, so I want the 4/3 pi r cubed. So our volume gets substituted in, 36,000 pi, 4/3 pi r cubed. Okay, so working backwards, we divide by pi. That'll cancel those out. And you've got options here. You can divide by 4/3, or you times by its reciprocal. That's the algebra step. Those are the two options. I always like timesing by the reciprocal. So when you times by the reciprocal, everything cancels down to 1s. So then we will times by 3/4 over here. So this all cancels down to 1. It's going to leave you with r cubed. Over here, 3 divided by 4 times 36,000. That gives us r cubed equals 27 27,000. Now we've got to uncube something. We have not done this. I don't think you've ever done this. But remember, if we had r squared, we would be square rooting. Well, if you've got r cubed, you're going to be cube rooting. A cube root looks like that. And it's finding it on your calculator. The scientific ones, it'll probably be by the square root somewhere. On the graphing ones, it's hidden. It's under math. And it's right here, the little cube and the root. So I can grab that cube root and then type in my 27, 1, 2, 3. Some of you have to put the number in and then do the cube root. It's all in how your calculator works. So I get 30. So that means if I do 30 times 30 times 30, I'm going to get that 27,000 back. Because when you cube root, you're asking what number times itself 3 times gives you that. Okay. Number 3. Can you find the volume of this hemisphere? Hemisphere. And remember, a hemisphere is just half of a sphere. And if we take the volume formula, which is 4/3 pi r cubed, for a hemisphere, all we've got to do is multiply by a half at the end of it. Or divide by 2, whatever you want to do. So, 4/3 pi, the radius will be 15 cubed, and then we will cut that in half, because we only have half of the sphere there. So 4 divided by 3 times, I'm going to skip over the pi, 15 cubed, and then timesing by 1/2. So our volume will be 2250 pi. Okay, number 4. Can you find the volume if the surface area of the sphere is 324 pi? Well, for volume, we need to know the radius. Because they're giving us the surface area, this is a work backwards from that formula. So let me start with the formula. 4 pi r squared. Remember, the 4 pi r squared has to come out equal to this 324 pi. So I can use substitution and put that right there. Okay, I'm going to get rid of the 4 and the pi in one step by dividing by both of them. So over here we'll be left with the r squared. Over here on the left, the pi's will cancel. 324 divided by 4, 81. And then you know the square root. Radius is 9. Now it's very easy to find the volume. So then 9 cubed times 4 divided by 3. Ooh, that wasn't good. Look at where all that ended up there in the top in the exponent. 9 cubed, get out of there, times 4 divided by 3. 972 pi. All right, one last example for the year. Let's find let's see, we're going to have like a silo here. The silo that has the hemisphere on top, and then a cylinder underneath. And here's what we know about our silo. We've got a 12-foot diameter, And we'll go 15 here. And I would like you to find the surface area and volume of this composite figure. Composite because it's made up of two shapes. Alright, surface area first. This will be our tough one. Think all of the surfaces you can touch. So we'll start on the top. I need the surface area of a hemisphere. I could have done half sphere, that would have been easier. Plus, I can touch the sides of the cylinder, which is the lateral area of the cylinder. So the lateral area of the cylinder. Plus, I can touch that one circle on the bottom if I picked it up. So plus the circle bottom. I cannot touch the circle here because the hemisphere is sitting on top of it, and then that's open. That could all be filled up. There's actually nothing there. So now 3 formulas. If you take your time to write out your plan, go to your sheet. We're doing surface area sphere. So it's half of 4 pi r squared. You could just put 2 pi r squared there. The lateral area of a cylinder is pi dh. And the area of a circle is pi r squared. Okay. So I'm going to make that a 2. The radius of this hemisphere is going to, because the diameter is 12 down there, 12 up here, radius is going to be 6. Pi times the diameter is going to be 12. The height of the cylinder is 15. And now we're looking at the circle on the bottom. Pi times 6 squared. Okay, I'm going to leave the pi's out because they all have a pi. So that's 36 times 2 plus 12 times 15 plus another 36, 288 pi. And now volume of this composite figure. If I look at my two shapes, I've got the whole cylinder to fill up, and I've got the volume of a half sphere, hemisphere. I did half sphere, so it's a little quicker. Last set of formulas. Volume of the cylinder is pi r squared h. Volume of the half sphere, 4/3 pi r cubed, multiplying by a half. Okay, pi, radius is 6, cylinder height is 15, pi 6 cubed times a half. Okay, this is it. 36 times 15 plus 4/3 times, oh, I put r there, 6 cubed times a half. Oh, delete. Times a half. 684 pi. Okay, that ends it. One more homework assignment for you. Hopefully I get to see you in the fall. Stop in and say hi, and we'll call it a year.